Hello and welcome back to another wedding DIY tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how to create these beautiful deckled edge place cards. So we've made a lot of different style place cards on this channel, most of them using the print and cut function on Cricut and some others using vinyl decals, but today we are going to try something a little different and we are going to be using a pen to draw the names for a super realistic handwritten look. Before we get started, let's go ahead and gather all of the materials and tools we'll need for this project. Everything is listed down in the video description, but to give you a quick run through, we are going to be using our Cricut machine, a fine tip pen for drawing the names, a pack of deckled edge place cards or a similar style, and a fabric grip mat. I'm going to be using the 12 by 12 inch. Now that we have everything we need, it is time to get started on our project. So first we're going to open up Cricut Design Space to create a new project. Go ahead and enter in the names for your first set of place cards. I recommend fitting 12 names on a 12 by 12 cutting mat, but you can adjust the number of names and the size of the mat as needed. Then I changed the font to Lovely Garden, and if you don't have this font, you can get it for free by signing up for a monthly font subscription from Creative Fabrica. I have that discount link included in the video description as well if you are interested in that. So now I'm going to change the operation from a basic cut to the pen so that Cricut knows to write the names. Now when this happens, you'll notice that it's basically an outline of that font. So if you're using a thicker font, you will have a hollowed out font in the middle. So it's basically just going to be an outline of the names. But that is why I picked this specific font, because it is very skinny. And once it actually writes the names out, you can barely tell that there is any spacing in between. Next, I'm going to ungroup the names so that each name is separate from the next, then weld each individual name together. I use the ungroup to lines function to do this. Next, we'll need to adjust the sizing of each name to make sure that they fit on each place card. To do this, I add a box the same size as my place card, so in this case a 2 by 3 inch box, and adjust each name to fit within that box. Once everything is sized correctly, go ahead and delete out that placeholder box. Now we are ready to arrange the names on our cutting mat, and to make sure they are placed in the correct spot, I actually recommend arranging the place cards on your mat first, then placing the names in the corresponding spots on the cutting mat within Cricut Design Space. So here is how the package looks straight from Amazon. They didn't come in any sort of box, so it's kind of expecting any sort of paper good to come in sort of box so they don't get bent or anything. So if you are in a little bit of a time crunch making these for your wedding, I would maybe order a couple of extras just in case any of them show up bent or discolored or anything like that. But these place cards are a beautiful ivory. They are super soft, almost feel like linen fabric to me. And of course they have the deckled edge, which just means that they have kind of like the roughness around the edge, just for a super natural look. So we're going to go ahead and start placing the place cards onto our Cricut mat. So this is the fabric mat, and it's super important to use I'd say either the fabric mat or the light grit mat, because these are very fragile pieces of paper. And even on the fabric mat, you'll see as I'm lifting them up, a little bit of the backs do come off of it, but it's not too bad. Just making sure that you are using not like a normal grip or super strong, because that would just destroy these. So I'm going to start placing these, and I'm actually going to start in the 1x1 square just to give my Cricut a little bit of breathing room around that first border. And then for the next card, I'm just going to skip an inch, start it on that 4-inch square, and work my way down. And then the same thing on the next row, I'm just going to leave an inch in between just to give the Cricut a tiny bit of space between each card. So now that I have all of my place cards arranged in the exact spots, I can jump back over to Cricut Design Space and rearrange those names to each corresponding square. So now we are ready to continue on with our project. I chose heavy cardstock as the material, and then it will tell you what pen that you need to use into your Cricut machine. So you can use any color pen that you want. I'm just going to use black so it adds a nice contrast. In an ideal world, we would all have perfect handwriting. It could freehand these like a calligrapher, but let's face it, that's not always the case, and that's where the Cricut comes in. It's a quick and easy way to get that handwritten look without spending hours practicing your calligraphy skills. So once my mat is loaded into my machine, I go ahead and press the go button and let the machine work its magic. Now to help release these off of the mat, I'm going to flip these over and just be super gentle. I'm trying to get these off. Now if you flip this over and bend it like this, it does help release the place cards without a bend. Like I said, these are super fragile though, so use any tools that you needed. I sometimes use that Cricut tool, especially for more of the place cards that were in the center of the mat. So they're pretty easy to peel off on the edges, but once I worked my way into the center, I did have to use that tool a little bit more frequently. So thank you so much for hanging out with me while we make this DIY project. Let me know any questions that you have down in the comments section, and let us know what type of wedding project you're working on, if it's for your own wedding, or if you're creating decor for a friend or family member, or maybe you're making this for your business. Just let us know what you're up to down in the comments section, and I will see you again soon.